It's Mortal Kombat time! Hello, welcome to another figure review. Today we're gonna have a look at the Stone Collectibles Mortal Kombat Reptile. This is the second version, and I know I'm very late with this review, but there's a very simple reason for that. This guy is expensive. And I can see why, because he comes with a lot of cool accessories. But yeah, I did get into Stone Collectibles when it started. And you know, they're doing all the ninjas, and now they're doing like the second version of the ninjas, which is more based on like Mortal Kombat 3, if I'm correct. 2 or 3, somewhere around those lines. And you know, Reptile is just the next one in the line. He's special because he's green, and he has the green eyes, and he has the reptile hair. Also comes with a bunch of cool accessories, so let's have a look at it. Size of Reptile. He stands at about 18 centimeters to the top of his head, which means we are going up to 7.1 inches tall. Size comparisons. Here's Jolter, NECA Michelangelo, the SH Figure Arts Krillin, and Goku, Stone Collectibles Sub-Zero, and Darkseid. So obviously this is not just another basic ninja in the lineup of ninjas from Mortal Kombat ninjas. And as such, I just want to have a comparison with Sub-Zero real quick. As you can tell, it seems like it's more the same, and I'm not saying that as a, you know, as a knock or anything. Obviously, it's the same figure. That's the idea. You just repaint it and be like done with it. The only thing I can point out is like I feel like the blue on Sub-Zero is very glossy looking. You can see how the light is reflecting off of it, and we have none of that on Reptile, so a lot more of a matte finish. And for the rest of it, obviously you have different face sculpts, different face molds, even though the head looks the same. But the mask is also a lot more rectangular and not as big as it is in Sub-Zero. So that's as much as the minor changes go. But let's have another look at this one without the comparison. We're not just here to compare, we want to still have a give you a full look to those of you who haven't seen this mold yet. So first and foremost, you have the green eyes, the reptilian eyes, and with a very static, stoic look on his face, which makes sense in terms of the game. No, you don't get any different face sculpts. Now that I think of it, that could be an idea, but it's kind of funny though how he's stoic and how Sub-Zero and Scorpion looked a lot more angry. The muscle work on these Stone Collectibles is always flawless. I have never had any issue with that. It looks amazing. There's a lot of detail in it, and really makes it look even a lot more realistic than the pixelated art that we had in the original Mortal Kombat games. Those digitized actors, I mean, they were buff, but I don't know if they were this buff. The paint work on here is good for the most part. You might have some parts where it doesn't follow through as much, or it goes over the line. I know this is hit or miss. Like over here it doesn't line up, and over there it's same thing. And this is not the worst thing I've seen. Like the worst one I had of the line of the ninjas in particular was Scorpion, so I'm not hating on the Reptile one because it still looks mostly clean. Down to the legs, obviously they don't skip leg day, so there's more muscle detail in there, and down to the shin pads, which is just kind of floating around while you have the straps molded in the back. Obviously it's not painted, just in the black. But yeah, anything else, the paint job on it is good. I feel like the green looks nice and colorful, but not too much, and everything else, you know, standard stuff. Speaking of standard stuff, Stone Collectibles Articulation. The more things change, the more they stay the same, but you know, there's not really an issue with that. You have a ball with a pack that goes into another ball joint in the neck, and the entire neck is soft plastic, the entire chest is soft plastic, just draped over it. As such, you can bring it back and forward, and it does also tilt side to side on the neck quite a bit. And the mask, yeah, it does like to disconnect. And the head itself, since it's still on the ball, you can still bring it up, wiggle it around a little bit, and go all the way around. Shoulder articulation, you have a big ball joint that goes into the chest area, so everything in there is, as I mentioned, soft plastic, so it rotates around. You can bring it forward. Obviously all the plastic that's draped over it will pull back on it a little bit, and then you still have the hinge in the shoulder itself, and you also do have a bicep swivel. Well, you can also rotate it in the socket, but the bicep swivel is there. And you have the double hinged elbow, goes up a fair amount considering how big and bulky he is, and you have another nice hidden black ball hinge in there, so you can bring that back and forth and also swivel it around. For the entire chest area, do have some very good forward motion, does also go to the back, and does tilt side to side. If these straps get in the way, you could still just tear it off, just pull it down a little bit, and flex the articulation even more. Also, you do have some rotation in the top part, but here's like the part where, since everything is soft plastic, it's kind of hard to rotate it around and really get a good grip on it. But still, it does work for the hips crotch piece that rotates around. Don't mind the ugly noises, as long as it works, as long as nothing breaks off. And I can't recall ever having anything break off from a Storm Collectibles. I also do have somewhat of a swivel in there, but since it's making such an ugly noise, I don't want to force it too much. The leg moves forward a little bit more than that, and out to the side. You can see the soft plastic stretching there, so I wouldn't overstretch it too much. Also, it might get some damage over time. Goes to the back. You can rotate it on the ball in there, so you can also have the double hinge knees, and the foot is on another ball hinge. Goes back and forth. Does have a pivot. And also you do get a toe hinge. And here's the reason why this figure is more expensive. And quite frankly, I'm not the biggest fan of these things. I rather have like the basic figure, or the choice. Anyway, you have a big tongue, a long tongue, which is somewhat rubbery at the tip, but like somewhere in the middle it becomes fairly sturdy again. Then you have an acid spray effect, where he spits some acid, is nice and see-through. Has some extra wrinkles on it. And then we have what I actually like, the Reptile hat, the actual Reptile hat, where he's you guessed it, Reptile. It's nicely painted, it looks good, there's tons of shading on it, and the molding on it is absolutely lovely. What I don't really enjoy about it is the mouth. Because yeah, you can open it, but look at the gap. This is like weirdly molded. And also here's like the small tongue, which is already in there. Also the way it's connected, it's not great. It's just like in the throat, and it should be like lower over here. So I don't know. You also have a hood, so you can put that one over, yeah, the Reptile hat, the actual Reptile hat. And then you have the big energy effect, which I think is like one of the big reasons. So, it looks cool. It has some green and it goes into the see-through, and you have a pack hole on the lower half, so you get like the regular Storm Collectibles base with that. Not the old cool base, the new crappy base, where you have this display piece and these little arms, little parts. Just parts that you put together, put it up higher, put it up lower. I hate this. I really hate this. I think this is stupid. It's a pathetic excuse for base, and I'm not a fan of it. So I'm just not gonna put much time on that. So you got some open hands. Then we got some holding hands. Some one pointy finger and one like kind of bent hand. And then we got another one with some completely open hands with the fingers all separate. And that's it. Final thoughts! This figure's cool. I mean, like, it's another entry in the Mortal Kombat lineup from Storm Collectibles. It's nothing too special, it's just another ninja. If the paint job on it is clean or not, that really depends from copy to copy. You know, just quality control, they just can be pretty wild on these. Mine looks good, so I'm happy with it, but quite frankly, and I'm going back to what I said at the beginning. Why have I only picked this up now? Because it was like over $100. And do I think it was worth over $100? Quite frankly, honestly, personally, I'm not a fan of racking up the price by just adding a lot of accessories. However, the accessories are pretty cool and they're well done, so I have a hard time really complaining about it. So I do recommend this one, but yes, the price point is a bit iffy, and but still, I mean, I can't rag on the figure itself because it looks good and the accessories are pretty cool for what they are. This is not for me as much. That's it. But yeah, still recommend it. That's gonna do it, guys. As usual, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget, if you enjoyed this review, hit it up with a like and subscribe to the channel so you can stay tuned for more figure reviews, card game stuff, and whatever Reptile wants.